Hello, and welcome to a new edition of FireWatch. This month on FireWatch, we're going to visit two homes that had fires here recently in the city of Danville. Also, we're going to speak with Michael Goebel in our Emergency Communications Department about a new program he is introducing to the city. And finally, we're going to talk about our new comment cards that you may see out when we're out installing smoke detectors or we're doing community involvement. So let's start the show. And now I have here again with me my standby, Richie Gwill, Assistant Fire Marshal. And Richie's going to talk to us about our first fire here in the city. Richie, tell me a little bit about this fire on Kane Street.
This fire was caused by electrical overloading of an electrical cord. As typically we see in older houses, they don't have enough electrical outlets to power everything that we're using now, and people resort to drop cords and multiple multi-plug adapters. They plug them into each other and start running so many appliances off of one drop cord, and it overloads them and causes a fire, and that's what we had here.
Okay, when you drove up, you can see right from the beginning where possible this fire could have started.
Yeah, it's obvious that it started right here in the front of the house, and that's where the drop cord was located, just inside the door, and that's where it made its way into the attic and burned its way itself through the roof there.
Okay, let's walk in a little bit and look at the area of the fire.
Okay.
As we go in, you can see that the firefighters had to bring a lot of the furniture and clothing out. But this house had an abundance amount of furniture and clothing in it overhead. So it may be a good idea sometimes not to have so much storage in your home.
Yeah, it not only makes it dangerous for you trying to get out of the house should a fire occur, but it also makes it dangerous for the firefighters as well as going in. The extra heavy loading of the floors and then everything over top of their heads. When fire's burning, it's weakening the structure and stuff fall down on our firefighters, or they fall through the floor with the extra weight of them just going across it with the fire burning. So yeah, and then it makes it dangerous for you trying to get out of your own house. You'll trip, get entangled, and that type of stuff.
Okay, Richie, once we get in, you can see, the socket was here, and this home only had two. In this room, you had one on this front wall, and then there was one over behind a sofa here. And if you look, this is what we see here. And talk a little bit about all those drop cords as you see them.
Okay, you can see that all the electrical wiring that we have here that was plugged into the wall. And even in the wall is an outlet, and it's got a multi-plug adapter plug into that. So like 4 appliances or 4 different things can plug into that. And then when we're coming off of here, we've got multiple things, and then it actually runs to another multi-plug adapter, and then you see all of those is coming off of that as well. So we had all of these electrical appliances running off of one outlet, and actually just one cord that was supplying all of these different appliances here. And there was a couch that was sitting here, and you can see where it burned through the floor. You can see the carpet that's still stuck to these appliances here where this fire occurred.
Richie, the owner was not home at the time of the fire, and someone driving up the highway saw the fire, so it had an opportunity to get an advancement on the firefighters when they got here. It was fire in the front. It was fully involved in the front, and overhead, the front whole room ceiling is gone as well. But I can't stress how important it is with all these adapters. I mean, there's one here. You got a drop cord in here going into there, and see how big this is going into that little skinny drop cord. That's where your friction is coming in, and it's just heating up too much. Then you have another adapter here, and it probably had several in there. Those green ones go into the wall, and it looks like 4 or 5 in there. So he definitely had an overload here. This was a lamp. There's all types of appliances. I think this was some type of little, was on a cabinet sitting to the corner. There was an item here that was plugged in. So there was a lot going on in this house. Okay, Richie, thank you for your comments on this fire. So now we're going to move over to Noble Avenue and talk to the occupants there about the fire that they had in their home. I've made my way over to 1019 Noble Avenue, and we had a fire here recently, and I have one of the occupants here with me, and he's going to tell us what happened. They had a mattress fire where a cigarette was blown onto a mattress. Tell me a little bit about what happened on your fire.
All right, so we had left about 30 minutes. It had been like a little fire. We was up there, and someone was in the bed asleep, and they was sleeping with a cigarette. You know, they was using cigarette materials improperly. You know what I'm saying? They weren't using them right. No ashtray, anything. So anyway, a fan was blowing. The fan blew sparks from the cigarette on the mattress. The mattress had started up some. So we poured water on, drag it out in the back, and we watered it down and dry it out. So Mama said we just gonna let it dry. We dried it good, and we brought it in the house. It was about dry. So we lay it on the steps to go on and put it back on the frame, and we left 30 minutes. So the store came back, and the fire just blazed up from the mattress. It started a little spark started burn your whole house down from a cigarette.
Okay, let me tell you a little bit about that, some safety about that.
Yeah.
On a mattress, and a chair, a car seat, a seat in a car, a vehicle cushion.
They just light and they spark up.
Right, and your think is out, but it's not completely out.
Yeah,
Once,
we thought it was out.
okay, if that happens, remember, always call the fire department. Let us come look, because it was smolder. It was smolder and smolder, and that's what happened to you. And once it get enough oxygen, it's going to burst into a flame again.
It was smothered up in there with flame, and then air hit it and it spread it.
Right. Once you try to bring it out, that's what happened.
It burned a hole in the floor is big, is about 5 foot wide and about 5 foot long, about, you know, a big hole. And we had to cut that out. Now we laying the floor, we putting a stud down, a beam down, some 2x4 studding it, fixing the floor. Then we got to fix the foundation and paint the house, because the city, it was a bunch of violations we had to do, because in the walls, we had to tear the walls out and put new wire. We got about $5,000 worth of materials. When a fire happens, it costs us a lot of money to replace it, and cigarettes are very dangerous. I wouldn't recommend you smoke in a bed or anywhere near anything like that. I'd recommend smoke alarms in your house, ashtray. You should smoke outside. Have your little cigarette can. I wouldn't prefer people smoking in houses. Look how many lives that's been taken from smoking.
Okay.
Our house almost got burnt plumb down. It could have been condemned. If we weren't here, it would have been condemned.
So we're going to make sure that you have smoke alarms. The fire department will make an appointment with you.
I want everybody else to know, though, too, how dangerous it is. It happened to me. It can happen to anybody, because we're usually strict about cigarettes. That's what I'm saying. So we're usually the type that keeps an ashtray around. And my daddy's always saying, don't let them cigarettes around and catch fire. I'm like, well, the cigarette's supposed to be fire retarded. They hit something and go out. You know, they say if they hit cotton, they're going to go out, but that's not true. It'll fire on up.
We always have to be careful with smoking material. But we're going to get those smoke alarms for you, and we're going to install them so you could be safe in the future.
Right.
Sparky the Fire Dog here with an important announcement. Smoke alarms can make the difference between life and death in a fire. In fact, nearly 2/3 of home fire deaths in the U.S. result from fires in properties without working smoke alarms. That's why this year's theme for Fire Prevention Week, October 5th through 11th, 2014 is Working Smoke Alarms Save Lives. Test yours every month. We want everyone to know just how important it is to test smoke alarms each month and to make sure they're working properly. For more information about Fire Prevention Week and smoke alarm safety, visit fpw.org.
And now I'm here with Michael Goebel. He is our Emergency Communications Coordinator. And Michael, we have a new program that we're introducing in the city of Danville. It's called the Danville Citizens Alert. Tell our viewers a little bit about this program, and then I'll ask you a couple questions that our viewers might need some answers and about that program.
Okay. Danville Citizen Alert is a notification website that we have. You can register your contact information so that you can receive notifications about emergencies in your area.
Okay. Now, what if my home phone number is unlisted? How can I get contact and signed up for this?
Well, if your home number is unlisted, we may have your information in our database, but we may not. So it's a good idea to visit the website just to make sure.
Okay. What information am I expected to provide in this process to register?
Okay, we ask for a Danville address, your name, a telephone number, and an email address.
Okay. Now, how do I know the information I provide in this registration is going to be confidential? You know how we are now about giving out personal information, and we not want to get in the wrong hands. So that's a biggie. People want to stay safe when giving out information.
Yes, ma'am. Everything that we have in the system is completely confidential.
Okay. Now, once we get signed up, what can we expect, or how are we going to be notified? You know.
You can expect to receive text notifications if you give us your cell phone number, and that helps because more and more people are transitioning to cell phones instead of landline telephones. You can receive email notifications, telephone calls, or text messages.
Okay. Now, what are these messages going to be about?
They could be about tornado warnings, severe weather alerts, hazardous material incidents, missing persons.
Okay. There are a lot of things that happen around Danville that our viewers want to get the correct information. It's a lot of blogs out there. It's a lot of people posting on the social media. So this way it's going to ensure them that they're getting the correct information. The water boil, the coal ash, things like that you know people are interested in. And we want to get the facts out safely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what if I move or relocate? What about that?
Okay. If you move, you can go onto the website and there's a place to opt out, and there's also a place you can put the date that you want to stop receiving messages.
Okay. Now, if I have any other questions or I really don't understand, and what am I to do? Who can I call? How can I get in touch with you?
Okay. You can give us a call here at 434-799-6535. And also visit the website citizenalert.danvilleva.gov.
Okay. Michael, can you give us a tutorial on the website to let the viewers know what they're going to see when they go into the home page, and you can walk them through it?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Chief Urban, the citizens will need to visit the website citizenalert.danvilleva.gov. Once on the website, there will be some terms and conditions to review. After you review the terms and conditions, click Yes, I agree, and then Continue. You will need to fill in your first name, last name, address, primary telephone number, and select if you wish to receive text alerts, and then enter a primary email address. You will also select your username and password. This same page is where you will opt out if you ever move away from Danville or if you wish to discontinue the service. At the very bottom, you will click Register. If anyone has any questions, please contact us at 434-799-6535.
Okay. Well, Michael, I appreciate you being on the show, and this is your first time, and hopefully we'll get to spend a lot of time with Michael here. He'll be moving over to our new communication center. Now, currently, we're in our old center, and we're looking forward to moving to a state-of-the-art building where we can let our citizens see that building and do some shows from there.
All right.
So we're looking to move in about a month or so.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
Well, thank you, and we'll have you back again.
All right. Thanks.
As we wrap up this edition of FireWatch, Richie's going to tell us a little bit about a program we've just started in the Fire Marshal's office, our new comment cards. Richie, tell us about our cards and what they're going to do for us.
Well, these comment cards is a way that we're trying to make sure that we're reaching all of our customers like we should, and finding ways that we can improve on our services. So we came up with a comment card, and you'll see these. You know, if we're installing a smoke detector in your house, you may give you one. Special events that the fire department is there, we may be set up. Special like concerts or the Braves games, those types of things throughout the city. And we may ask you to fill out one of these cards and hand it back to us. And then we take those cards and we compile all the information, and that way we can see, you know, measure our services and see if we are actually doing, you know, what the citizens would like to see, or finding ways that we can improve things.
Okay. Our residents, they're very important to us, and we want you to be a part of the fire department just to let us know, what you want us to do, what you're missing. We can come out and reach you in your home or in your civic group, your community, and with some fire safety information. So you will be seeing these coming out, and it doesn't take very long, just a couple check boxes, and there's a place on here you can write a little comment if you like. Well, thank you, Richie, for bringing out our comment cards here today. And that wraps up our show. And we'd like to thank Michael Goebel for his input on the Community Citizens Alert. Be sure to watch out for the electrical safety and the smoking safety, that we not have these fires here in the city of Danville. So until next time, be safe.